This is the First Order TIE Fighter from 2015. Now, I know these series of films get a lot of criticism, a lot of which is completely valid, but one of the things I've always enjoyed about them are the TIE Fighter designs. I think so many of the TIE Fighters are just black and gray. That's pretty much the TIE Fighter color scheme. So I love getting a TIE Fighter just a little bit of red. I know that's such a small amount of red to go nuts about, but it really helps to diversify a TIE Fighter display. Plus, the inverted wings look really cool. Now we move on to the most important question, which is how does this fare as a toy? Well, this little turret can be articulated. That's kind of cool. These bolts can be fired. You know, that's pretty standard for TIE fighters. But this can actually hold two figures. We have one spot for a figure up here, and we have a yoke for them. Pretty simple, and we can turn it around. And we get yet another large printed piece. Feels deluxe nowadays, which you can put another figure in, and really, it may not seem like much because that is just, one more minifigure, but I think that significantly increases the amount of play patterns that a kid could come up with just adding a second minifigure into their set. To operate our lovely TIE Fighter, we do get two of these First Order TIE Fighter pilots, which are my favorite minifigures of the set. The helmet is very cool, unlike Imperial ones. You don't get an enormous amount of skin on the back. That you do get a little bit, and because it's actually rubber, that little hose, this can actually be moved pretty well, which is nice. Angry Clone's really the only unfortunate part, but this was 2015, and Angry Clone was kind of all over the place, and overall, this is a pretty cool figure. I guess this guy has kind of a cool helmet, but his printing's kind of bland. He's just kind of alright. This officer, who's pretty cool. I was recording my outro, but then something happened. I was just simply moving this thing around, and look what happened. The wing is separating from the body. That's something I've happened with this. I did get this used, so I don't know if that's just something that happens just because of its age and because someone else probably had this and man played with it before me. I actually had to come up with a solution, though. Pretty simple. You just get something like this, and you secure the wing to the body just like that. Aside from that issue, which may or may not happen with other people and other owners of this set, we gotta remember, this thing's a decade old. I don't mean to make anyone feel old here, but these original sets, Force Awakens sets, came out almost 11 years ago now. And for being an almost 11-year-old set, this thing looks pretty fantastic. The detail's awesome. It has a lot of interesting shelf presence. It's just a little bit thicker than your standard TIE Fighters of this scale. Overall, if you can find this thing for a decent value, I'd highly recommend picking it up.